So the story goes like this. You've just landed a new promotion at work, and because your hard work has paid off and you've got this big wad of cash burning a hole in the pocket of your jeans, you're looking to buy a car. Now, you don't want a Mercedes C-Class or a BMW 3 Series because you think that they're a bit too flashy, but at the same time you think that they're just a little too overplayed. You also think that the Audi A4 is a bit boring, so what do? Well, you turn to the Japanese market, and for instance, you look at brands like Acura. So, what we're driving here is an Acura TL. And because of that, you're able to drive a car that's luxuriously appointed, it's comfortable, and at the same time, you can still show up at dinner parties and make a bold statement without any compromise. So today we're driving a 2014 Acura TL, and the history of Acura goes back to the mid-70s when Honda started doing its research and development for the brand, but it wasn't really until 1986 when the company was founded, and Honda created this brand as its luxury division of their cars, Acura. And this is at a time when Toyota was developing its Lexus brand, its own brand of luxury cars, and Nissan was doing the same thing with Infiniti. So what happened was in the 80s, Japan had all of these export laws, all these regulations where automakers, when they would export their cars and sell them to North America, the manufacturers weren't really yielding a great enough profit. And to overcome that, what these automakers did was they just started selling cars, they started making cars and shipping them over there that were more prestigious, that were more expensive. So because of that, it gave Acura and Infiniti and all these brands a reason to basically create a whole new subdivision of their own manufacturers, the luxury division, so that when they sold these cars, they would compete with Audi and Mercedes and BMW, and at the same time, they would profit significantly because, you know, their Honda and Toyota counterparts were just not as profitable. So, win-win for everyone. So Acura still holds the distinction for being the first Japanese automaker, as far as luxury goes, to be shipped to the US and to start selling their cars. Now, the Acura TL was at one point in time right behind the BMW 3 Series as far as most sold luxury car, but sales have fallen about 50% since then, but nonetheless, this car is still keeping up with paces with, you know, the likes of BMW and Mercedes, and it still provides a solid punch and is still a very good contender to the luxury car buyer as far as which luxury car that they want to choose. So this is the 4th generation Acura TL, and this was introduced in late 2008 as a 2009 model year. Now, this generation ran up until 2014. This was its last year, until it was replaced in 2015 by the Acura TLX. Now, the TLX was basically a replacement for both the outgoing TSX and this last model, TL. It's basically a combination of the two cars. It's a nice happy medium, and it provides the advantages of both cars without any compromises whatsoever. Now, the engine options that we had with the 4th generation Acura TL are a 3.5-liter V6 engine that produced about 280 horsepower. That was equipped with front-wheel drive drivetrain. And the other option that we had was a 3.7-liter V6. And at the same time, that car also produced about 305 horsepower, and that was literally the successor to the highly acclaimed Acura TLS type from the previous generation. So as far as gearboxes with this car, we have a 5-speed automatic, a 6-speed automatic, and a 6-speed manual transmission. So you get a nice array of gearboxes. You know, you get plenty to choose from depending on what kind of driver you are. If you're looking to just, you know, cruise around, or if you're doing a lot of city driving, the automatic is, you know, it's going to suffice. You got these paddle shifters here on the wheel, which have a nice feel every time you click them, and they provide nice feedback to the driver as well. But then you also have the manual transmission if you're feeling a little more sporty, you know, if you've come from BMW or Audi, and you still like the traditional manual gearbox providing all user feedback. So this car is a lot more aggressive as far as its looks compared to its predecessor, the 3rd generation Acura TL. And that's due in part to the fact that Acura implemented a design concept called Keen Edge Dynamics. So basically, it makes the car a little more aerodynamic. It provides a much more aggressive look. The front fascia looks a lot meaner. The rear end also looks a lot more square, a lot more firm compared to its predecessor. It looks a lot tougher, but that's a good thing because when you pull up next to a Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series, or, you know, a Lexus IS, you want to make a bold statement, and this car does just that. So this car will basically, you know, you won't be disappointed as far as the heads that it turns when you're driving it, so that's good. Moreover, we have a nice technology package in this car, which is optional, but you get a 10-speaker audio system, an upgrade from the standard 8-speaker, which even the 8-speaker system sounds very good. You get navigation, you get Bluetooth, you get XM satellite radio, keyless entry, keyless go. So for a 2014, for a modern car, you get a lot of features, and considering the fact that this car is around $40,000, 40 grand, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Now, it's a little more than a base BMW 3 Series or Audi A4, but at the same time, you get the Honda reliability, you get the comfort of the car. You know, these seats are very comfortable. They got nice side bolsters here, and they hug you really well when you're in the apex of the turn. And you get the nice seats in the back as well, so it's not like your passengers in the back are having to compromise, you know, sitting back there, and they miss out on all the sportiness of the car. But more importantly, yeah, this car handles nice. It feels really well. Honda did a very good job designing this car, Acura, I should say. So there was a 2013 Acura TL Special Edition, and basically what this is a special Acura TL where it was equipped with 18-inch wheels. It got unique paint options, a unique interior array that you can choose from as well. It got a trunk spoiler, so basically it's the top-of-the-line Acura TL Special Edition that makes, you know, the ultimate statement when you're pulling up to a dinner party or you're going to your friend's house. But you know, it's a very nice contender from the Japanese automaker that can go hand in hand. You know, it can go rival with an Audi A4, for example. Okay, so probably what you guys are more interested in are the driving dynamics of this car. You want to know how it drives. Well, I can tell you that these bolsters here on the steering wheel give you a nice ride. The steering wheel has a nice thickness to it, so it feels pretty good. And you know, it's an Acura TL, so it's got the power, it's got the punch, and it doesn't fail to deliver in any way. Like, I'm at a red light right now, and if I were to put my foot down, because it's got at least 280 horsepower, at least 90 more than my car, the 2003 series, it takes off pretty well. And, you know, for everyday usage, yeah, it gets going real quick. So, you know, you're looking for a daily drive or something that's somewhat sporty, something that can go get the groceries and, you know, have a little fun through some S-curves. Well, this is a very good contender right here. The handling is very good too. You go through these S-curves right here. Another thing this car does so well is handle. So like, you're coming up to a set of curves right here, and you take the turn so beautifully. You know, you feel like you're always in control. You never feel like you're on the verge of slipping or that you can't maintain control of the car in any way. The car's handling is pretty responsive. It's pretty light, so you don't have to put in a whole lot of effort, but it feels good. You know, it gets up to power when you put your foot down, even if it's not all the way. And, you know, these seats do a very good job of keeping you safe and firm and planted, but you know, the handling really shines on this car. Yeah, it's not a Porsche per se, but it's, you know, it's very good for a daily driver. You know, stopping quickly is very important as well, and these brakes are very good, so you're not going to be disappointed there either. But it's good to know that when you're looking for a car, you want to look for something that's a complete package. You want to look for something that handles great, accelerates great, stops quickly, because that's important, especially if you live in the Northeast where there's a lot of ice or snow or rain. And this car delivers. This car has all of it. This car basically is the complete package you're looking for, you know? That's why I'm a fan of premium luxury brands like, you know, BMWs or Mercedes, or, you know, even something from Japan like Acuras and Lexus, because it's a whole package thing, and that's what you want when you're driving a car. You want something that completes the look, but, you know, delivers in every single category. So it's not terrible on gas. Gas mileage is, you know, somewhere in the mid-20s. 0 to 60 times are also in the mid to high 5s, which for everyday use, that's more than enough. Handling is very good. You don't have to put in a lot of effort to, you know, change direction. And it just provides a satisfying feel. You know, you drive this car and you feel like you're alive. And that's what matters in a driving car, you know, in an enthusiast car. I mean, the thing is nowadays you're getting a lot of cars with electric steering and all sorts of assists and, you know, electric throttle cables and all that stuff. But the thing is, I mean, like, yeah, you want to get a car that feels great. So this car does just that. As far as the interior of the Acura TL, this car is pretty good. It's got nice soft materials everywhere. One thing I'm not too crazy about is this giant cluster of buttons right here in the center console area. It might be a little intimidating to get used to at first, and when you're navigating this infotainment system here, but you can tell they just pulled this right out of an Accord to, you know, save money on cost for when they were producing this car. But overall, material fit and finish is pretty good. Everything is solid. Everything feels good. You know, they got nice rubbers and plastics all around. So this car definitely feels like it's up to par with a lot of what's on the road today. You know, like its German rivals, for example. But nonetheless, it doesn't break the bank. So it's not like they're using the finest leathers that, you know, Napoleon had used when he was around. But at the same time, it's material that's built to last. So you know that, you know, when it spends years out in the sun, it's not gonna go too bad over time. But at the same time, it's not cheap either, where it's just nasty to feel. So overall, what do I think of the Acura TL, the 4th generation Acura TL? It's a very good car. You know, I really like this car. The steering is smooth. It's, you know, it's like smooth as silk, or if you buy a nice new leather jacket, how it feels so smooth. So it's good. Acceleration is good. You know, the car takes off right when you need to if you have to get out of a potentially bad situation, or if you just want to go for a spirited drive, you have that benefit as well. Handling is good. Handling is refined. It's pretty thorough. It's fluid, so when you're driving this car in the middle of a turn, you know, you always feel like you're in control, and it's not necessarily numb. You know, the car feels like it goes where it wants to, and you don't have to put in a lot of effort to turn, which is nice. But yeah, overall, this is a very nice contender. I always said that, you know, if I was in the market for a Japanese car, whether it be Acura, Lexus, or Infiniti, you know, I want to say Acura has my vote, because I like the styling, I like the performance. It doesn't really break the bank that much, and I've just always been fond of it. You know, I mean, of course, the other brands are pretty good as well, because, you know, they're made by Toyota and Nissan, so they're reliable. But I don't know. I just always preferred Acuras when it came to the three, you know, Japanese brands from the big three there. But overall, I would say this car is a win in my book. Like I said, the only complaint I have is just the organization of all the buttons here in the center. You know, it seems like it's a lot all at once, and it's kind of an eyesore. But apart from that, this car is very solid. It's very reliable. I wouldn't, you know, hesitate to drive this, you know, too long, because it's made to last, and it'll do just that and more. So this is a car you just change the oil, change the brakes, tires, you know, regular maintenance fluid. I don't really expect to have any kinds of catastrophic errors or issues with this car. So yeah, I would say this car is a win in my book. So alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this review on the 2014 Acura TL, moreover the 4th generation Acura TL. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram page at Garage Denali. Thank you very much, and take care.